I know. But so good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. We'll begin our service this morning by singing the civil rights song, Woke Up This Morning with My Mind on Freedom. Feel free to stand or to stay seated. We'll get the lyrics up in just a sec. It goes... Here we go. I woke up this morning with my mind, I said it was set on freedom. Well, I woke up this morning with my mind set on freedom. Well, I woke up this morning with my mind, it was set on freedom. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Walking and talking with my mind it was set on freedom. Oh well, walking and talking with my mind set on freedom. I said I'm walking and talking with my mind, and it was set on freedom. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Everybody now, walk, I said walk, oh well, walk with your mind on freedom. Walk, oh well, walk with my mind on freedom. Whoa, walk, I said walk. Everybody talk, now talk, go with my mind on freedom. Talk, I said talk, oh well, talk, go with my mind on freedom. Whoa, talk, well, talk. It ain't no harm to keep your mind set on freedom. We said it ain't no harm to keep your mind set on freedom. Well, it ain't no harm to keep your mind set on freedom. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Please be seated, everyone.
Hallelujah. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. My name is Brigitta Vieyra. I use she, her pronouns, and I am serving as your worship leader today, while our minister, thank you. Feels good to be here. Our minister, Reverend Christine Dance, is away from the pulpit this summer. And if you need any support, you can reach out to me. Yay! So, beloveds, please gather, settle into your bodies, both in the sanctuary as well as at home. Find a place where you feel good. We have so many seating options here. We have a table in the back. Hello, friends back there who are using art supplies. Lots of space to stretch and sway. The doors over here to your right lead to a very warm but quiet garden where you can meditate. And there are speakers out there so you can hear all of what we do today. And I want to give a very special welcome to all of you who are joining us for the first time. I met some of you at the door. Our UUCP, if you're new, you can't hear me. He's working on it. You want this one? This one you want? Welcome. Let's try this again. Welcome, everybody. There we go. It is good to be seen and heard. I will say that, yeah. So welcome, everyone. My name is Brigitta Vieyra. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the ministerial intern of this beloved congregation. Thank you. Reverend Christine Dance is out this summer away from the pulpit, and if you need anything, you can reach out to me. Thank you. So I want to give a very special welcome to all of you who are new here today. I met some of you. If you're comfortable, you can give us a wave. Yeah, a few of you. Welcome, welcome. The UU Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a spiritual community for our time, focused on diverse theological perspectives, radical inclusion, knowing that issues of justice and equity shape everything we do. I invite those of you in person, in the sanctuary, and also online to get comfortable in your body. Find a place that feels good and right for where you need to be today. In the back, we have some materials for art supplies. You can also feel free to stretch and sway. I saw a little one just dancing around here earlier. All of who you are is welcome today. And a special welcome to all of you who are joining us over Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. Let's turn around and wave to our beloveds online. Hello, Zoomies, from your roomies. We are one congregation, no matter where we are participating today. And now I invite you to take a deep breath and settle back in as I ring our singing bowl. With it, I invite it to draw you deeper into the present moment and into this beloved place of possibility.
Good morning. I'm Carrie Lifshitz. My pronouns are she, her, and I am your worship associate for today. Our opening words are turning to one another from American writer Margaret Wheatley. There is no power greater than a community discovering what it cares about. Ask, what is possible, not what's wrong. Keep asking. Notice what you care about. Assume that many others share your dreams. Be brave enough to start a conversation that matters. Talk to people you know. Talk to people you don't know. Talk to people you never talk to. Be intrigued by the differences you hear. Expect to be surprised. Treasure curiosity more than certainty. Invite in everybody who cares to work on what's possible. Acknowledge that everyone is an expert about something. Know that creative solutions come from new connections. And remember, you don't fear people whose story you know. Real listening always brings people closer together. Trust that meaningful conversations can change your world. Rely on human goodness, and stay together. Join me as we stay together by reciting our covenant, and Penelope Davis lights our chalice. Yeah, Penelope. Go ahead. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to share our strength in fellowship, thus do we covenant. Perfect. Thank you, Penelope. Woo! You'll be seeing more of Penelope later on this service. Everything going on at UUCP can be found at our website, phoenixuu.org, and our weekly newsletter, Compass. A few announcements. The Heat Relief Network offers hydration, cooling, and heat relief respite centers throughout the valley. Next Sunday, June 25th at 4 p.m., they need help packing heat relief bags. Links to donate or to register to participate are on the Civic Engagement webpage. Also happening next Sunday at noon, UUCP member Igor Glenn will host an Earth-themed open mic here in our sanctuary. All are invited to listen and sing along. If you'd like to perform, please bring a song that touches in some way on the environment, the natural world, or environmental concerns. And if you haven't heard Igor Glenn before, it's a treat, I promise you. Several members of the Civic Engagement Team and other UUCP members have toured the Human Services campus and are amazed at the wide range of resources they offer the houseless. See the Civic Engagement webpage for details and how to help. And now, our board president, Bunny Hodes, has an update on our Close the Gap campaign.
Seeing all these people come exuberantly, I need to come exuberantly up to the time. I'm Bunny Hodes. My pronouns are she, her, and I have the honor of being the president of the Board of Trustees this year. We had announced last week a campaign called Close the Gap Campaign, and I'm going to make a very specific connection and ask, not only for you people who are roomies, but for all of you who are Zoomies and also YouTubers, and are not only watching in person now, but will be watching shortly after or sometime during the coming weeks, this program. Our Close the Gap campaign is to help fill in for the money that we are short to hit our programming for this year. It's really an important year coming up, and we're really excited to be able to have our full programming and grow into the full scope of who we are, who we can be. And so I'm going to ask all of you, whether you're regular pledgers or whether you're one-time givers, or maybe you haven't given yet, but if you share our values and if you find values in this place and in these people and all of us together in our community, please think about giving to this Close the Gap campaign. So what we're asking is a very specific ask. We're asking you to think about $15 a month. And $15 a month works out to $3.75 a week, works out to 50 cents a day, and that times 12 months will be $180 a year. So whichever way your brain likes to work, there's a few different numbers to think about. All the information's on our website. There's been some emails that have gone out. If you would send an email to closethegap@phoenixuu.org and let us know what you would be willing to do to support this community, then we can be on our way. This is a real short ask. We're running through, it's a 2-week program. We're already a week into it, and we're running into Monday, January 26th, which is a week from tomorrow. No, June, sorry. Yeah, not that long. So, yeah, that's not short. And so far, we have heard from, we're trying to get 200 people, so that was the big piece. If we can get 200 people to give $15 a month, we can raise $36,000, which would give us more than halfway to closing our deficit. And so far, we have heard from 43 people, so we have another 150 some of you to hear from, but we have already gotten to 20,000. So just think, yes, thank you. We've had some very generous upfront donors, and just think if you do your bit and we all work together, we can do the heavy lifting together, that's what we're all about. We're all about doing the heavy lifting together. So thank you very much, and send us an email.
As a people of possibility, one of the ways we lean into our shared practice of imagining another way is possible is by actively creating a more just and loving world. One way we do this is with Share the Plate, which splits our offering with UUCP and a local organization. For June 2023, our Share the Plate partner is No More Deaths, No Más Muertes, a ministry of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tucson. The mission of No More Deaths is an abolitionist in that it insists walls will fall, borders are impermanent, and together we can put an end to the death and suffering happening in the Mexico-US borderlands. This organization runs volunteer-based projects to address different dimensions of the suffering caused by current policies toward migration and immigration and border policing. No More Deaths, or No Mas Muertes, calls us to imagine a world another way is possible, a world where love knows no borders. As a dedication to immigrant justice work, please give generously as you so often do. And the ways to do that are up here on the screen. Thank you.
Good morning. This morning during Together Time, invite all those who want to come up here to gather around. And we are actually going to be sitting this way to look at the screen. Thank you for being a kid today. I'm a kid every day.
I'm an 81-year-old kid.
81-year-old kid, everybody. Love it. Awesome. I just want to make sure wherever you sit, you can see the screen. All righty. This morning, beloveds, we are going to practice the art of possibility together. Possibility speaks to us in so many different ways, through our relationships, our experiences, and our dreams. And possibility can also speak to us through images. Throughout history, art has been one of the tools of communication that has sparked conversations and influenced social change. Artists, are there any artists in here? Yeah, quite a few. Artists have a special way of creatively inviting us to imagine another way. So, there is this ancient form of prayer. It's called Visio Divina, or sacred seeing. And it's a powerful type of meditation that can welcome us into possibility. To do Visio Divina, which we're going to practice today, you can use any form of art to reflect on. Today, we're going to be meditating on a piece called The Great Unknown by Damon Schindler. But before we get started, let us take a deep breath together. Inhaling and exhaling. On the inhale, if you're comfortable, lift your arms up to the sky. Exhaling, bringing them back down to the earth. Breathing in and exhaling back out. We open ourselves up to the offerings of this artist and the gifts that can be revealed through the art of possibility. If you'd like to participate, I now draw your attention to the screen and open yourself up to the message it may have for you. So look at the image and let your eyes stay with the very first thing that you see. Keep your attention on that one part of the image that caught your eye. Try to keep your eyes from wandering to other parts of the picture. Breathe in and let yourself linger at that part of the image. Why do you think your attention was drawn to this particular place? Allow whatever thoughts or feelings arise to descend into your heart. Let this art of possibility touch you deep where mystery dwells inside. And we'll take another deep breath in. Exhale back out. And now let your eyes gaze the whole image. Take your time and take in every single part. Notice the shapes, the colors, the lighting. Notice how you feel looking at the whole image. If you were in this painting, where would you be? Do you sense an invitation? Maybe you hear a call. Perhaps something about this painting sparks a memory. Together, we're going to take another deep breath in and exhale back out. And notice the ways the spirit of possibility has been speaking to you through this art. Because now it is time to respond. What is your response to this art today? Maybe it's a prayer. Perhaps it is a question. Whatever it may be, this intimate communion you've had, silently share it with the whirling within. Breathe back in and back out. And place a hand on your heart, expressing gratitude for this time of sacred seeing together. Now I invite anybody who has in one sentence and wants to share what message was revealed today.
It seems to me that this picture depicts kind of in between two worlds, our physical world and the world in the non-physical plane. It seems to me it's kind of an intermingling of the two worlds. That's what I perceive in the picture. And it also suggests to me kind of the state of becoming, that a person is transitioning. That's my own position, that's my own place in life right now. I am transitioning to another way of being. And that's the message I get from that painting. It's a lovely painting.
Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Vicki.
I took it as an invitation to be curious. There's so many paths. I took it as an invitation to be curious. There's so many paths, so many places your eyes lead you.
Curiosity, yes. One more.
I really noticed how it's a lot of different settings, but they're all blended together into the painting. Like, there's a whole forest, and then there's a desert in the background. It looks like a mesa area in the front. It just all blends together really well.
Thank you. Okay, beloveds, thank you for exploring this practice of Visio Divina. When we engage in the art of possibility, our sight can become a vision to imagine new worlds. So, head back to your seats. Thank you. And together, we are going to explore the art in our lives with some beautiful music.
Check, check. You know, I didn't introduce myself earlier. I'm Benji Messer. I'm the music director here. I use he, him pronouns. I'm lucky to be joined by Bob Davis today on bass and guitar. This next song is going to feature Bob. The theme of the service is roughly possibility and freedom and abolition. And so here's a great Bob Dylan song about finding that. It's called I Shall Be Released. You're welcome to join in on the chorus.
Everything can be replaced. Every distance is not near. So I remember every face, every man who put me here. I see my light come shining, come on, from the west up to the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. I say every man needs protection. I say every man must fall. And I swear I see my reflection somewhere far above this wall. Come on now.
I see my light come shining from the west up to the east.
Every day now, every day now, I shall be released. Nobody understands this lonely cry. When he swears he's not to blame. All day long I hear him shouting so loud, just crying out that he'd been framed.
I see my light come shining from the west down to the east.
There you go.
Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. One more time. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released.
Oh, thank you. That was just beautiful. Okay. And now we are going to make sacred space for the joys and sorrows of our community. For those of you on Zoom, please enter any joys or sorrows into the chat, being sure to put your name at the beginning. And for those of us in person, the joy and sorrow cards are located in the front table for next week if you have something that you would like to share. As we make time to support one another, let us center ourselves in a moment of stillness. This morning, it is with a tender ache in my heart to share a sorrow with all of you. Our beloved Arling Cole Salmon had an accident involving a car and is in the intensive care unit at Honor Health Osborne. And while the ICU does not allow flowers, Arlene's family is asking for our help in showering her room with lots of color and love. So on the back table, there are some cards and markers if you'd like to send a loving note. And for those of us on Zoom, if you want to send a note, just send it to me directly in the chat, and I would be happy to make a card for Arlene. From the Lifshitz family, I have some joys. One is for Dylan, who returned from summer abroad in Argentina, exposed to Spanish culture, language, and advocacy. Welcome back. Woo, good to see you. And Colin has been working hard in his football skills, received an offer to play college football, at Puget Sound University. Hey. Yeah, and then Owen just got back from Odyssey of the Mind, really showing us the art of possibility. From Vince Leons, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Vince wants to share a joy. Vince had a successful implant procedure in Istanbul last month. The first part, which is the hardest part. And so far, everything is progressing awesome. Blessings on good health. A joy from Peyton, who's working today, live stream in the loft. A joy from Peyton is that his birthday is coming up next Saturday. Woo! And it's looking forward to hanging out with classmates and good friends. Happy birthday. Lydia Yannick shares a sorrow. A dear coworker lost her wife suddenly and unimaginably this week. Oh, Lydia, we are holding Anne in our hearts. I have a joy from Pete Creelman. Pete shares that you can celebrate July 4th with a spectacular concert not to be missed at the Scottsdale Philharmonic. there is more information, and go see him to share the joy of music. Wonderful, thank you. And I don't see any more in the chat. There are more. They're coming. From Amy Miskell, here they are. A joy. Oh, Amy, a joy shares that this is the first Father's Day for Anthony Miskell, Stephen's middle son. Anthony's daughter, Clover Sophia, will be 1 year old in August. What a big joy. Thank you, Amy. And from Sunshine, we also have a request to please continue to hold Reggie Watson. Of course, Reggie Watson is back in the hospital with cancer complications. Sunshine, we are holding you close. And now for all the joys and sorrows of this community, those spoken and those held in the silent sanctuary of our hearts, we send our love. Join me in honoring one another in acknowledgement with a brief prayer. Sacred Spirit that we call by many names or no names at all, hear our hearts this morning. Our hearts are full of gratitude for birthdays, graduations, opportunities to go to college, the transitions in our lives. We also express gratitude for music and sharing them in community. And when we listen closely, we also notice that while our hearts sing for joy, they also have some sorrow. Sorrow for our beloveds in the hospital with complications or severe accidents. Sorrows for the unimagined losses of our lives. Sorrows for the pain that we can't even speak aloud. And our hearts also beat with action today. Our hearts cry out in love, standing in solidarity during Pride Month. And they also lift one another up as we celebrate and honor Father's Day. May we take a bow of reverence to honor the fathering love that exists among us, all and between us. Spirit and life and love, we honor all those who give fathering to us. The mentors, the teachers, the dads, the moms, step-parents, aunts and uncles, grandparents and friends, anyone who has tethered us to life-affirming ways of being in the world. This morning, we also honor transgender, non-binary, and genderqueer parents who show us what it means to defy traditional and societal gender roles, expanding our imaginations about how we father to one another. We also this morning honor all the people who have fathered to us and are no longer with us, grateful for the ways they shape and continue to shape our lives. We honor those who know just how painful fathering can be, in the loss of dreams unrealized from children gone too soon, reminding us that grief is something to be held in exquisite care. We honor all of us who have complex, difficult relationships with fathering, for all of us have important stories around healing. We also honor all of those who long to be fathers, for those who maybe never wanted to be a dad, and for those who have chosen not to pursue fatherhood in a traditional way. For each of us knows that we forge our own path. This morning, we also honor the fathers behind every invention and act of innovation, the fathers of movements for social change, the fathering that imagines another way is possible. And lastly, we honor the wild fathering force inside us all. May we faithfully honor our love in this world and be ready to share our gifts with the world. Blessed be, and amen.
glad to welcome Penelope Davis to join Bob and I on this next song. I know, right? You're very excited. This is the old Appalachian folk song, I Believe in Being Ready. I learned it from a wonderful recent recording by Rising Appalachia. Sometimes the change we imagine isn't possible right now, and at those times our work is to be ready. I believe in being ready. I believe in being ready. I believe in being ready, for the time is drawing near. Brothers, sisters, please get ready. Brothers, sisters, please get ready. Brothers, sisters, please get ready, for the time is drawing near. Oh, there'll be signs and wonders. Oh, there'll be signs and wonders. Oh, there'll be signs and wonders, for the time is drawing near. We'll turn around and just start over. We'll turn around and just start over. We'll turn around and just start over, for the time is drawing near. Sing with us, if you'd willing. I believe in being ready. I believe in being ready. I believe in being ready, for the time is drawing. Once more with them, Bob. I believe in being ready. I believe in being ready. I believe in being ready, for the time is drawing near.
So amazing. Thank you. When Brigitta first posed the question, what does it mean to be a people of possibility, the first thing that came to my mind was Odyssey of the Mind. For those of you who don't know, I'm a coach for Odyssey of the Mind, or OM, and all three of my kids have taken part in this outside-the-box thinking competition. Coaching OM is a lot different from coaching sports. In sports, you tell the kids what to do and to fix any issues they may have. With OM, I am only there to pretty much keep the kids on track and give them spontaneous problems. I cannot tell them what to do. This was really, really hard when I first started out, especially when coaching a team of second graders. They would come up with an idea, and immediately in my head, I would think, oh, there's no way that'll work. But you know what? Invariably, it always worked. Their ideas were always better than my unspoken ones. I finally came to the point where there was nothing they could say that I would turn down. I just had to open my imagination and get to where they were. What if we could all do that? Instead of saying, no, that's not going to work, or we say, okay, imagine what this would look like. We can listen to communities who experience systemic oppression and imagine a world where they feel safe, a world that acknowledges and repairs harm, a world that encourages accountability, a world that is focused on individuals. And then the work to get to that world can begin.
Thank you, Carrie. So, what does it mean to be a people of possibility? That is the question our UU ancestors have been rumbling with across generations, gathering in community and exploring what does it mean to be human? How do we practice humaning together? And how are we called to create worlds where we are rehumanizing the societal issues of our time towards justice and liberation? As a people of possibility, our quest for spiritual intelligence is more than a personal search. It is also a collective calling, because, beloveds, the world that we've inherited needs courageous and bold reimagining. As a young girl, the question that was most alive for me, that shaped almost every decision of how I moved through the world, was this: what if I get in trouble? That meant that I was an expert rule follower and a star student. And for my, quote, good behavior, I was awarded so many gold stars. But underneath those stars of achievement was this life-swallowing anxiety. I was so terrified that if I messed up or spoke up, I'd, quote, get in trouble. And if you pressed me and asked me, hey, little Brigitta, what do you really mean by that? Still to this day, I can't communicate it. It's nothing specific. It's this vague, looming threat that's so powerful, I didn't dare to take any risks outside following the rules. As I got older, I experienced a lot more moral stress about this because I noticed I was self-policing my behavior. And there were so many situations where I didn't risk speaking up or doing the right thing because I was afraid I'd get in trouble. So I had to ask myself, where did I learn these violent logics of policing and punishment? With some curiosity and self-compassion, I've come to now understand that my fears of punishment, the things that kept me small, afraid, and quiet and complicit, that it's actually the byproduct of these embedded beliefs, these ingrained and inherited theologies that I believe we all are called to break ourselves free from. In the United States, we have a cultural punishment-based theology that undergirds all of our social structures, our politics, our relationships to others, and even to ourselves. From school suspensions to incarcerations to the death penalty, we've decided to build systems of punishment to address harm. These are called retributive theologies, and they are scaffolding the oppressive systems. And they sound something like this. God has provided laws or rules to follow. Breaking those laws is a form of sin, and sins, they need to be punished. But don't worry too much about that because other people can experience punishment for our collective benefit. After all, there was a guy named Jesus who died for our sins. Justice is punishment because through punishment, individuals and societies can be redeemed. Oh, and by the way, there are good people and bad people. We all get what we deserve. Laws protect the good people from the bad ones. And we punish the bad people by enforcing the law to keep all the good people safe. Yikes. Yeah. This is the punishment culture, or versions or flavors of this, that is embedded in the theologies that are steeped in this either-or thinking, good, wrong, good, bad, right, wrong. And all of these things never really address the root causes of harm or any of the factors that contribute to the ways in which we hurt one another. This violent system of policing and punishment masquerades itself as safety and accountability. And it has a name: the criminal justice system. And its tactics are very clear. Use mass surveillance, policing, and imprisonment to threaten, control, and kill indigenous, black, and brown people, to suppress poor working-class whites, to criminalize queer and trans bodies, to detain immigrants and institutionalize people with disabilities. And it has a goal. Its goal? To maintain the authority and power of people and corporations who have amassed tremendous wealth in dehumanizing others. But here's the thing they don't tell you. Those of us in various positions of economic, political, and social power, we really don't have any freedom because access to a violently oppressive system isn't liberating for anyone. People of possibilities have abolitionist imaginations, imaginations that ask what could be. What could be in the search to make another way, a more liberated way, possible? Abolition is a political vision to eliminate oppressive systems and structures by creating new ways of being together that honor the inherent worth and dignity or divinity of all of us. And it's an everyday practice of possibility because abolitionist practices divest from systems of violence and reinvest in whole new ways of being in community. American geographer and abolitionist visionary Ruth Wilson Gilmore reminds me that abolition work is actually this beautiful spiritual disposition. Because to have an abolitionist imagination, it's not just about erasure or absence of systems, but actually about presence. Being present to one another's humanness, being present to the ingredients that can make deep flourishing for us all. To engage in an abolitionist vision that is insistent another way is possible, entire new theologies that combat punishment culture and disposability are required. Theologies that center love and being in covenants of care. Theologies that vulnerably honor what it means to be human, that acknowledges we all will mess up, but we can heal and repair. Theologies that refuse to root accountability in punishment and revenge, choosing values of growth and healing and liberation instead. Theologies that affirm that nobody is disposable and that everybody, yes, everybody, has inherent worth and dignity. Beloveds, does this sound familiar? Yeah, it should, because it's our theology as Unitarian Universalists. Across generations, when others saw depravity and sin at the core of what it meant to be human, our faith tradition saw potential. And when others preached salvation and an afterlife, our faith tradition worked to create heaven on earth. As a faith community, we have a deep and long understanding that abolition is holy, sacred work, that together, as UUs, we are called to not only reduce the violence and the harm in our world, but radically transform the very systems that cause us to hurt one another. As a people of possibility, we believe another way is possible. And UUs have gathered together and fought tirelessly for abolition of all kinds, from the abolition of slavery and segregation to the abolition of war and nuclear weapons and the abolishment of the death penalty. Today's abolition movement understands that policing and incarceration are violent tools of political oppression that are criminalizing and killing our most marginalized community. So in today's time, in this hour, it is our theology of abolitionist imagination that encouraged our delegates in recent years at our big gathering called General Assembly to overwhelmingly vote for UUs to take urgent action to abolish mass incarceration and detention, and also invest in finding alternatives to policing. You see, as a people of possibility, us UUs, we are always deepening an understanding of what it means to be free. And this makes me feel pretty good, yeah? But there's more story here, beloveds. There's more to our story. Because in an honest reckoning with our UU history, we are not only responsible for actively resisting and trying to transform the harmful systems, but we are also very much responsible for the creation of these oppressive structures that are strangling us today. Tomorrow is a celebration of Juneteenth. Juneteenth is a holiday to commemorate the end of chattel slavery in the United States. The day when word about signing of the Emancipation Proclamation, the document that finally reached Galveston, Texas, 2 years after it was signed, the document that said, all persons held as slaves are henceforth shall be free. Tomorrow, on Juneteenth, we celebrate abolition, the abolition of slavery, not on the day that the document was signed, but on the day the message was delivered, that had a real impact on people's lives. In our UU history, we have a very complex relationship to the creation of slavery and the abolition of it. You see, there were Unitarian and Universalist ministers and churchgoers who actively defended slavery. Others were ambivalent. Some called for measured reform, not abolition, and the ones who said abolition now were deemed radical and dangerous. In the pews, when slavery was explicitly rebuked, wealthy congregants often left the church because many of them were industrialists who profited enormously from slavery in the North and in the South. And beyond our pews, many U.S. legislators were also Unitarian or Universalists, and they were deeply divided about what to do with slavery. It was a Unitarian senator from Massachusetts who comprised a package of Senate bills which included the 1850 Fugitive Slave Act. That was the law that federally allowed and even required assistance in catching and returning runaway enslaved peoples back to their enslavers. And it was a Unitarian president, Milford Fremore, who signed it into law, feeling that the only way to keep our country safe was if the government safeguarded and protected property, which included Black bodies. But there's more to the story. In 1850, when the Fugitive Slave Law Act was passed, another one of our spiritual ancestors, a Black woman named Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, was fleeing to Ohio, a state that did not allow slavery, to teach family sciences. Frances later moved to Pennsylvania, where she became deeply involved in the Underground Railroad movement and helped so many people escape enslavement, and became famous for writing poetry in the anti-slavery newspapers of her time. She quickly became a prominent abolitionist and women's suffrage activist, and thousands of people traveled to hear her lecture. Frances Ellen Watkins Harper also taught Sunday school and kept membership in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, and even joined the Unitarian Church in Philadelphia, committed to justice-making. In May of 1866, Harper delivered this very famous speech called "We Are All Bound Up Together." She gave this speech at the Women's National Rights Convention in New York, calling white women in to practice solidarity with women's suffrage. In it, Harper says this: "We are all bound up together in one great bundle of humanity. Our society cannot trample on the weakest and feeblest of its members without receiving the curse of its own soul." Today, we are gifted with Harper's prophetic wisdom in recognizing that our work includes accepting responsibility for our past failures and trespasses, knowing that it is a necessary part to break the curse of oppression and exploitation. Beloveds, today we know that the aftermath of chattel slavery birthed the creation of policing to produce and reproduce racism, classism, and sexism. We know that today's criminal justice system is a living legacy of white supremacy. And in these turbulent times of rising authoritarianism, a punishment culture that is enforcing, quote, law and order, it is time that we are a people of radical possibility. A people of radical possibility that is honest. Honest that we are not only called to love the hell out of this world, but that we are also called to refuse to look away to the ways in which we created some of the hells on this earth. When we refuse to look away, we can be compelled to find new courage. The courage of an abolitionist imagination. The courage to faithfully and fully live into our covenant. The courage to divest from cultures of punishment and invest in ways that center love. The courage that I'm finding each and every day. The courage of asking a new question. A question inspired by U.S. Representative John Lewis, may he rest in peace and power. A question that asks, what if it's not about if I get in trouble? What if I get in some good trouble? Yeah. So who's with me in finding the courage to get in some good trouble? Let me hear it. That's right, beloveds, and this is a struggle of a lifetime, but we can start right here and right now. I invite each of you to explore Jez Putnam's Abolitionist Classroom, offered by our phenomenal children's ministry program. The Abolitionist Classroom is open each Sunday before and after worship in Annex A for the months of June and July. And for those of you online, don't worry, there's a virtual Abolitionist Classroom. Yeah, we're putting it in the chat for you. Let's all give a shout out to Jez on that work. So, beloveds, this Juneteenth, I believe that we are called. We are called to take up the unfinished struggle of people engaging in the sacred and holy work of radical possibility. People like Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. People who get in good trouble and engage in transformative social change. May we all recommit ourselves to an abolitionist imagination and remember, another world is possible. May it be so.
Thank you, Brigitta. It's so good to have you with us here at the congregation for this time that we get you. This is actually the first of 3 services in a row that Brigitta is leading. I encourage you to show up for all 3. So we're going to end now with a classic activist chant set to music by the independent hip-hop band Flowbots. They're up in Colorado. They're still working, doing great. Looks like we have not just Penelope coming back up, but also Nigel. Fantastic. Just follow my lead, folks. And you all are welcome to stand and follow my lead as well. We said, we are unstoppable. Another world is possible. Come on, we are unstoppable. Another world is possible. That's right, we are unstoppable. Another world is possible. I said, we are unstoppable. Another world is possible because it doesn't have to be like this. 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 A little louder. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. That's right. Said it doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. 'Cause today another world is possible. 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 'Cause it doesn't have to be like. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. That side, stick with Bob. It doesn't have to be like this. Here we go. It doesn't have to be like this. 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 Thanks, all. Have a seat.
That was so fun. Thank you, everybody. Let's continue to engage in the power of possibility with coffee and community. So right after our service, we have coffee hour, one online with, I believe, our beloved congregant, Gary Azell. I hope that's right. If not, Gary, please put in the chat if you won't be there. And the rest of us here will be gathering in the Johnson Room. Adult and children's activities begin at noon. And now I offer us these closing words. In the coming days, may we be reminded that the future is not only a place where we are going, it is a place that we are actively creating. And on this path of liberation, may we honor the prophetic call to have abolitionist imaginations, ones that never forget, another world is possible. Go in peace, go in love.